Hey guys, welcome back to Frenemies. I'm Ian, and we are back for the Flash for the second part of this two-parter. Basically a two-part mid-season finale, so it's crazy. So last episode we ended with Barry getting taken over by Ramsey. So that's great. I mean, before it ended, we saw like a shadow of him as a big blob monster. So yeah, the Speed Force and Ramsey were trying to fight for not fight for control, but they were trying to fight. One was fighting for Barry, one was fighting for control of Barry. I'm not necessarily sure whether Barry gave in or he wasn't able to fight it exactly. But yeah, the team knows about it. Luckily, Iris was able to catch on, but unfortunately, he got away anyway. The team didn't. Let's see what. Jeez, I don't know why my brain's on the fritz. Caitlin could have frozen, Frost could have frozen him, but I mean, I think they were trying to make sure. I guess I don't know. And also at the end of like Batwoman and Supergirl earlier this week, we saw like a little tidbit of like kind of leading into the crisis. Wells was sucked into something that like the doorway of the monitor. I don't know, he was talking to him saying that he saved him. I think he got like right there, or when he had arrived at the door, he had saved him. I don't know what that meant and what exactly how he had saved him. I know somebody tried to say something in the comments too. Like, I mean, I saw this is Wells becoming, and I immediately got rid of the comment. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can about the crossover. So please, nobody tell me what's going on with Wells. If you know, apparently there's like they've revealed already what's supposed to be going on with him. So, but please, nobody else say anything. I was barely able to not see that one. All I saw was Wells becoming, and then I made sure to get rid of it. So all I know is he's becoming something, but luckily I didn't see what exactly or what's going on with him. So again, please nobody spoil anything at all, at all. I'm trying to avoid everything, okay? Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. We're gonna try to get Barry back. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Let's get started.
Caitlin once said Ramsey's infection samples indicate he needs his victims to be afraid before he attacks them.
Oh dang, she's gonna sense all of that.
Show your allegiance, and all will be revealed.
Yeah, that sounds great. Oh, wait, no, I don't barter with false gods.
Bow down to me, and all you desire shall be yours.
Let me in. Let me in!
Bow down to me!
What's this now? Punishment from an angry god? Or simply faulty wiring? I say, let there be light.
Still nothing. We got this. We just need to get to the end of the hallway.
She's overwhelmed by all the fear.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't even move.
Iris, I know you're listening. I need to see you. Meet me where our life together began, where you said yes.
Iris, that's not him. Please.
Sickness and health.
Iris. Iris!
I know that this is not how our story ends. Come home to me.
Why would Barry come home to you? You accepted his death in crisis as inevitable. What kind of wife is willing to bury her husband?
Iris, get out of there.
You haven't even tested that thing.
We have no time. Maybe you don't remember, but we actually have been preparing for this for weeks.
No, we've been preparing for the Flash to die trying to save this world, not helping to destroy it.
It doesn't matter. We were gonna lose him anyway. This is the moment he prepared us for.
Don't get Joe, please. No! Dang it! You. Jesus would be terrifying. It doesn't help that she's feeling fear everywhere. Work. Work. Please work. No! Ah! No! God!
My army is almost ready to march on Star Labs.
What the hell do you want with Star Labs?
Oh.
The particle accelerator.
Salvation is nigh.
An ass whipping is nigh, pal. And you're gonna lose, Ramsey. You're gonna lose.
Lucky. Right up until the end. I knew I picked the right guy. Iris! If you're listening!
Oh, so this dude's gonna save him? Monitor? This is when Monitor saves him. Oh. Is there more? Or is just that one guy back? Sounds like more. Looks like more. Yeah, I'm assuming this is what he saves him from. Okay.
Something Ramsey said. I knew I picked the right guy. Barry said those words.
So he is still in there? So is he able to kind of control Ramsey?
Barry said those exact words to me when he made me team leader. Ramsey could have infected me. He could have killed me.
Iris. Cisco. Let the light in.
I think I just figured out Barry's plan. And he just told us the next step.
You want me to do what?
Barry's plan is to let the light in.
Oh.
It isn't for Ramsey to spread his infection to the city.
Right.
It's for you to spread the antidote.
Bring me Iris and Cisco.
Trust you.
What are you doing? Kill her! We are one, you and I. Much better.
Hang on a little bit longer, Barry. Somebody watch Ramsey. Ross, watch Ramsey. Oh, he didn't do it.
Hey, where's the scary guy who tried to kill us all?
Told you to watch him.
He won't get far.
Thank God.
For the last time, I am trying to save everyone. Don't you understand? You're not the hero here. I am.
Oh, here it is. Oh my God. Oh! Nice save. Oh my Lord. Yeah, I was gonna say he can't be out yet.
Flash, you okay?
That's a heavy hit. Well, hello. Well, a little high, but it's fine.
I felt the same way. My beautiful boy.
Oh, the hologram?
You wanted so desperately to save me. Now let me save you from yourself.
I just wanted to help them all.
There we go.
No, she was wrong. I was born to save the world.
Guys, sitting in silence really isn't how I want to spend the next few minutes. Joe, when you gave me your watch, that meant the world to me. I want to give you mine. So I know, wherever I go, part of me is with you.
I love you for that. But you're not going anywhere yet.
You know, when you first came into my life, I had lost faith in just about everything. You saved my life, Barry.
God, I remember the old days. No doppelgangers, no flashpoint, no time travel. It was just us against the bad guys. I miss that.
I don't know. I kind of like time travel. When you were stuck in the Speed Force, I would have Cisco vibe me to the waterfront so I could watch our first kiss.
I didn't know that.
You know, the one that you had to erase from the timeline to save the world. And be right there with you to the very end, okay? Because the only thing more inevitable than crisis is us.
Oh, god dang it. On the dot, huh? Okay, so it was because of the whole, the blood zombie thing. Wells thinks Monitor saved him, but he didn't save him. It wasn't him anyway. Well, I mean, I guess it technically could be. Like, he planned out everything. He knew that Ramsey was gonna happen, and that Barry was gonna create this. It was gonna be Barry's idea to create the wave, but I mean, Allegra did it. But still, like, that basically sent out the antidote to cure everybody. So it could have been the Monitor. He planned it to fall down that way, but I mean, I don't know. Wells all seem to kind of just forgive him pretty quickly, considering he's been hunting him for however many Earths he's been hunting him, and it seems to be something pretty personal. So I don't know. We'll probably get more, like, they'll probably flesh that out a little bit more within the crisis, I'm assuming. Whenever Wells contacts the rest of the team from after he comes back from wherever as he went. No idea what's going on there. So it seems Barry actually gave in on purpose to stop him. He gave into that he could do what Ramsey had been doing to him, and seeding doubt, showing him his mom. Well, not he didn't show his mom, but showing him the stuff he could have if he would have let Ramsey take control of him. So Barry still kind of had access to his mind. They were still kind of connected, so he let him see his mom, or he had him see his mom. And god dang, that freaking monster thing! Like, I didn't expect. I was expecting more like what's it? Like Clayface looking thing, but it's not the same color. But that was kind of freaky. Like, it had a monster skull flesh on it. It was freaky, dude. But yeah, when he punched it when did he punch it? Whenever he did what he did to him, the monster Ramsey, the first time, and he went down, I was like, that can't be it. That was kind of quick. And then yeah, he bashed him to the car afterwards, caught him off guard, and then stuck him to it. I'm like, Barry face, and he did. He was just waiting for him to be distracted so he could speed him to, so he could shrink first to his normal self, and then take him to the Mac. So he was being that could hold him, thankfully. And then they sent him to Lila, I guess, or Lila. Argus came picked him up. So he's not dead. So he's not really 100% gotten rid of. I mean, they might not use him again, but I feel like that's kind of gonna come back, especially with we're probably gonna be going into the whatchamacallit, the organization that's using metas, that like somehow they'll figure out a way to get him out of Argus. I'm not sure, but considering he's being held in Argus, but maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this organization's reach is, because they had this dude killed, but I mean they used what's her face, Esperanza, is that her name? They used her, or Ultraviolet. They used her to kill the dude that basically kind of got them caught in a way. But I'm assuming that he's gonna be implemented with them somehow in the next half of the season. But whenever first Ramsey said, "I know I picked the right guy," I thought for a second that he was just being a douchebag and using that on purpose. Like because I know because he has connection to Barry, like his memories and everything. So I figured that's what that was. He was just using that line to get to Cisco. But it was apparently showing Barry still had an influence. He's still fighting there. He doesn't have control necessarily, but he has an influence. Like he stopped, like Ramsey was saying, no, not yet. I still have, I'm going to use you as a messenger, and then you just told Iris in due time. So he was just holding him, he was able to hold Ramsey back from infecting them, which explains why one of his vessels, I guess, when it cut Joe, it didn't infect him. He cut him, he cut him bad. He hit his spleen, so he was bleeding pretty badly. Luckily, they had Frost to be able to heal him. But yeah, I was wondering like why he wasn't being. I was worried for a second. I thought like that was him getting infected, but it wasn't. And that's why is because Barry was holding him back. So it just cut him bad. But luckily we had Frost. And thankfully Caitlin was able to help Frost get through the fear that she's been like whenever she keeps seeing her friends near death, and it's hard to say this without making a pun on accident, but it keeps causing her to freeze, and whenever she's needed, whenever she needs to like heal her friends or make sure that they're all right and everything, that kind of stops her short. Luckily, her and Caitlin had a talk and they were able to get through that, and Frost finally let Caitlin out to spend time with the team. How long has Caitlin? I mean, I know she comes out every now and then, but how long has Caitlin just like had the back seat pretty much of this does she like off camera? Does she ever have control? I mean, I'd hope, because I mean, otherwise she's had hardly any time. I mean, I know Frost's hardly had any time before, but can't they not like balance it out a little bit? I don't know. But she let her out to spend time the last what they think is their last few minutes with Barry. I know likely Barry isn't gonna die, but it's just that scene, like the way it was all like the scene before the skies went red. It was just very difficult. Like that when he was talking to Joe and offering him his watch, and he's telling him he wants to have a piece of him at all times, at all time. And then Caitlin and Cisco bringing up old times when Caitlin first, when Barry first came into her life, and reminiscing about the first season, which was one of the favorites. Like one and two are still one's probably the best out of the first two seasons. But yeah, like just reminiscing about all the old stuff is always just like. But yeah, even if I'm pretty sure they're not gonna kill off Barry. I mean, I know in the Crisis he does die, but if the show has been canceled, but it hasn't been picked up. It doesn't usually happen until getting closer to the end of the season. So I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be like Arrow. It's not going to stop at 10 seasons, because I know they're still recording Flash. I just don't know. It just seems like they're definitely setting up for him to die, like these emotional moments. Like I don't want to say that it would take away from it necessarily, because I mean in that moment they do think that this is going to happen, and they're doing a pretty good job of kind of like selling that emotion to you, not selling, but like having you feel that, even though you're pretty much thinking that he's not gonna die. But if he doesn't, I don't know. I don't want him to, but I just don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't think it'll lessen the scenes because it's just what they have no idea. So we're the only ones that we're the audience we're watching. It's like no, they're not gonna kill the main character of the show. This isn't Game of Thrones, and to be fair, Game of Thrones has a lot of main characters, so but I mean the show's named The Flash. Game of Thrones isn't named after one specific character, so it's just and Arrow they're killing Green Arrow, they're killing Oliver, but the show's ending. So I don't think the show's ending. They're still going on. So I don't know. I mean, they might have somebody else come, but maybe they'll rehire. Maybe they're bringing back Wally if they do end up killing Barry. I don't know, but I really hope not. Nobody tell me what they're planning. If anybody knows, if they for some reason, I don't think they would they? Because that would kind of spoil Crisis. I don't know what things get leaked and people for some reason like to deprive them of their surprises that they work so hard to keep. But one thing that Cisco said whenever Lila took Ramsey, they're saying that his condition's permanent. Or are they talking about his abilities, like his sentient illness, or are they talking about his actual, like his disease? Because I would think, like, if you were able to, like, it was working, the photon cannon, I think he called it, was working on Ramsey, but very unfortunately he stopped him. So I would think that he could just make it again and use it on Ramsey, and you just now that he doesn't have anybody to protect him, you could just destroy the disease, the power disease. But maybe it's gotten stronger and it wouldn't work. I don't know. I always find this funny. Anytime they in a show, not like in the back of my mind, whenever I'm watching stuff, like when Caitlin or in this case Frost, because it's the first time they really shown it, was when she's alone in a room and she's talking out loud to speak to whoever doesn't have the wheel currently. I'm always thinking, like, how that feels. I mean, she's probably used to it by now, but it's just like you're talking out loud, and I mean, they might have like her voice, her other part recorded, so they can play it in speaker, so she knows when to reply, or the director like gives her a cue of when to say her next line. But I just think it's funny, like how that has to feel, at least the first few times when you do it. I mean, I know whenever Grant, when he does his speed out or speed in, it's always like kind of a without, when you're not including the effects and everything, like when they're actually filming, it does feel kind of strange. And I'm sure Grant still kind of feels, I don't know if he still feels kind of goofy or anything, but just because like I said, like, he probably gets used to it. So, but just I always like back in my mind, I was like, man, that has to feel really weird. And like with when Barry was fighting Monster Bloodwork, like he's looking at probably I mean basically nothing. He might be looking at like a tennis ball, but stuff like that. I always think it's funny, like acting that up. That's basically just like pretending when you're young, but you're doing it in front of adult people, and at first it feels weird because sometimes it'll look funny and they'll snicker behind your back. But I don't know, just a thought that enters my mind every now and then. I do like that Cisco kind of created he made defenses for what you call it. I just blanked for Star Labs. It's just funny because they've been their track record when it comes to people breaking into Star Labs. But he made this force field for in case this defense in case of I figured it was just for speedsters in general, but it's like if Barry were to ever go bad, which is kind of seems very much like a Batman thing to do, which kind of I thought was kind of cool. I felt terrible because I mean Cisco and Iris were obviously on different ends of how they were approaching this. Like Cisco was just thinking that Barry wasn't in there. Iris wanted to do whatever she could. And that line, whenever she said it in sickness and in health, I was like, oh god dang, Iris. I swear to God, if for some reason if they go for it and actually kill Barry, I'm gonna be so mad. I feel terrible for Iris and for everybody, but for Iris especially. I really feel bad for Cecile this episode because I didn't think about the fact that her powers, they kind of just work. She doesn't exactly use them on purpose. Like she can, but they're kind of like always on. So she'll always just inadvertently feel somebody's emotion. and with the way that Ramsey's ability, like how he has to take control of people, how they always have to feel fear, like and all the zombies, it seems like all basically the zombies, they're just in a perpetual state of fear. That's just like, and like the whole city is feeling it. So like she's just feeling, she's being blasted with just fear, and as we saw, it was overwhelming, and it was freezing because I mean a lot of times people when they're struck with like immense fear, intense fear, like they will freeze up, but she's feeling everybody's fear. So that's, I can't even imagine. Like I'm surprised that she was awake, I guess. I mean, I don't know. She was able to fight through it, and she was basically like a radar for zombies, which is kind of cool. But terrifying because you're still feeling like when you're hiding, you're already kind of scared, but then you feel like that presence of fear coming closer, and then right behind you, and it's still all around you also. So yeah, that was cool, but terrifying. Like that doesn't help when you're trying to hide and trying to sneak by zombies. Just imagine like in clickers, if like in Last of Us. I was thinking whenever Cisco hacked the I forget what it's called already, but the device that helps them create a breach. I didn't think it was just to listen in, which that's helpful too. But I was thinking, I was wondering why he can't actually activate it and send like pull Iris back. I mean, luckily he didn't need to. She was fine. Barry was holding Ramsey back, but I mean we didn't know that, and then he could have actually gone for it. If Barry didn't have some control over Ramsey, he could have taken over Iris. So yeah, I was wondering if he could have done that. That'd be really helpful. So Allegra is pretty actually integral to stopping Ramsey, which I thought was kind of cool. Like she just, like I had some issues with her, mainly because like she seemed like she was butting into like information, like into people's lives that she didn't know and they didn't owe her anything before she found out about Barry being the Flash. It's kind of like she felt like they didn't trust her. I'm like, I mean, to be fair, you were a criminal. And you weren't framed for what you were put away. You weren't framed. You were actually put away for things you did, and they're giving you a chance here, which is not many people would because you're a felon. Not many jobs are gonna give you a chance, but she was able to actually she actually saved the city. She was able to use her UV and like boost it up real high to actually, was it like I'm assuming she destroyed the blood that was in the accelerator, and also the way with the particle, with the way that it sent out, it was able to dispel basically the cure. It was just kind of like the radiation throughout the city. It was kind of what Cisco did with his photon cannon, but on a wider scale. So I thought it was really cool that they implemented her that way. I wonder if she's gonna be helping with the crisis at all, though, because I mean, I feel like, I mean, we could use all the help we can get, because I mean, I don't know how we're fighting it in here, because I mean, again, I've read the majority of the comic, and they don't exactly fight the wave. I'm like, are they gonna be all? Because I'm wondering what the antimatter is gonna look like, because he doesn't look like Marnavu. It's a very big difference between the two. So I'm wondering how they're gonna exactly implement that. If they're just gonna make them look alike, or maybe look alike but just like some obvious differences. But I don't know. I know they end up going to try to stop him eventually, like head to head, eventually. So I don't know how that's gonna go. But yeah, I feel like Allegra would definitely be able to help, even though she's also like the least experienced with her abilities of who we have thus far. But I mean, she might be able to help. I don't know. And Marnavu apparently has a plan for Wells, or else he wouldn't have like recruited him the way he did, and he like pulled him into, I'm assuming, wherever he's staying. So he's gonna give him some information that he hasn't given the rest. I really liked whenever like after everything went down, like they were able to free the city of Ramsey, and Barry was talking to Allegra, and Allegra was saying that if it wasn't for Frost, then she wouldn't be able to get through to the accelerator, and that she was awesome. Barry, I love the way Barry just seemed proud of his team, like of Cisco and of Frost. And he's like, I'm leaving the city in good hands. Like, as he said before, and kind of said earlier in this episode, I knew I'd choose the right guy. And it's just, I really like, I don't know, the emotional bits they set up. I really like what they've done, and it's just like, it's seeing Barry just so proud of his team, his friends, and knowing that they'll be okay without him. It's just like, ugh, man, the emotions of the show. I really hope Barry doesn't die. I'm gonna be so mad. It was sweet. I didn't know this. I mean, they never mentioned it before, and they never showed it either. But when Iris mentioned that when Barry was in the Speed Force, that was technically before season 4, since they never showed it. That when Barry was stuck on the Speed Force, she'd ask Cisco to revive her to the past to see, see their first kiss, to kind of just, except while he was gone, since she thought that she wouldn't be getting him back. I thought that was sweet. I mean, I'm kind of glad that they put that in there. I wonder if that was like a deleted scene. That'd be kind of cool. But well, I think that's all I got for this episode, guys. Oh my God, next week's the crossover. I can't. Oh, I'm so freaking excited, but I'm so worried. I'm worried mainly. Well, I'm worried if whether Barry's gonna die or not. I'm like 98% sure he's not gonna die. But there's that. There's a little bit. I was like, maybe. But I'm also just like worried how much of a mess it's gonna be whenever Oliver does die. Like, I don't want to see that. We only have. I know this isn't the Arrow, but we only have two more episodes of Arrow. Getting ready to go into the next one. And right after this, God, I'm not ready, guys. I'm not ready. But guys, that is it for this episode of The Flash. Next week is the crossover. If you want to stick around for that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to support us, go and check out our Patreon. You can get access to stuff like polls, to run shows you want us to react to whenever we need a replacement, and early access whenever, for any kind of series that we have. Again, guys, that is it. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys here next week for Crisis.